Welcome back to ADHD Whiskey. If you're new to the channel, my name is Matt. Today, we're reviewing a brand new product, a super expensive one from Calumet Farm. Typically, if I'm reviewing anything from a farm, it's not on camera, it's in the kitchen. And it's usually made out of protein or lactose. But if you were to review what I'm reviewing today, and you had $500 on you, you'd lactose. Because you would have to spend that $500 to purchase this. The brand new Calumet Farm 18-year. The presentation on this thing, beautiful. Look at the box it comes in, it's so nice. This might be a longer video because when companies put a bunch of writing on stuff, I love to read the writing. I want to know exactly what they're telling us about their product. If a consumer's in a store and they reach for a Calumet Farm 18 on the shelf and they just open the box and do some reading, what will they find out about it without doing extra research? But before we dive headfirst into the information, let's pour some of this in a glass and let it breathe a little bit. America. 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 Also, it's only fair for me to tell you that I got this bottle for absolutely free. A while back, I either saw the press release or maybe like Coming Whiskey's post about a Calumet Farm 18 being released in 2025. Anyway, whenever that happened, I sent Calumet Farm a direct message immediately and I was like, hey, if you're sending out samples of these buggers to people like me, I would love to get my hands on a sample of it. Fast forward a long time later and people were buying bottles and reviewing them. And I said to myself, for $500, Matt, you won't be trying Calumet Farm 18 this year unless a viewer of yours sends you a sample. Long story short, a while later, Calumet Farm sends me a DM and they're like, hey, do you still want the samples of the Calumet Farms that are being released this year? And I said, absolutely. They said, fill out this form. I said, I just did. A couple weeks later, a gigantic box shows up on my doorstep and I said, what on planet Plutron is this? I opened it up and this son of a bitch was inside. I was like, that's not a sample, that's a whole bottle. So, before you watch the rest of this video, I know some of you are pissed off when YouTubers get free shit, but guess what? Was I gonna send it back? Was you want me to send it back? I'm not sending it back. But with that being said, even when I get things for free, I try to make the most unbiased review possible. If I love it, I love it. If I dislike it, I dislike it. And if you don't believe that I'm being honest because I got it for free, that's totally all right. I just gotta be upfront with you in the first place to let you know that what I'm tasting, I didn't pay for. I just realized I forgot to put on deodorant. Son of a bitch. I'll be right back. I can't end up stinking. Not today, it's too hot. (118 proof, non-chill filtered, 74% corn, 18% rye, 8% malted barley, the same mash bill that was in the previous Sam Houston age-dated releases and the previous Calumet Farm age-dated releases. I have a history of loving this aged Barton, so going into the Calumet Farm 18, I am having the highest of hopes. The highest of hopes. In a fusion of tradition and triumph, this rare 18-year-old bourbon is inspired by a century of excellence. Every sip is a pact with time itself, a promise to honor and elevate the legacy of that who came before us, those who came before us. It's in cursive, it's kind of hard to read, especially if you're reading it out loud to a camera and trying not to do it 600 times. We mark 100 years with this spirit that embodies the grandeur? The grandeur? Yeah, damn it. Of the past and the bright promise of tomorrow. This 18-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon, hand-selected from our most prized barrels, represents the pinnacle of craftsmanship. Carefully selected from extremely small batches, this rare release offers a taste of our storied lineage and dedication to perfection. Experience the depth and character that can only come from the heart of our award-winning heritage. Distilled in Bardstown, Kentucky. Got something up there too. Friggin' tasting notes card. That's really unique and cool. Let's go in and nose this 100th anniversary Calumet 18. Okay. That smells incredible. Nose on this is very mellow and then pointed, like it just ramps up into this sharp oak, twisted blackberries. Like you set blackberries on fire, charred blackberries, oak and toffee, a zinging sour cherry possibly. Oh yeah, there's a layer of vanilla in there. I need to go back to the 16 year because the 16 year I absolutely love, but I think that the 18 year is vastly different than the 16 year. It's way more vintagey, way more like special and old and dusty. What year did you come from, time traveler? And did you bring your sports almanac? All right, let's go in for a taste. Calumet 18 year. Down the hatch. Whoa. Wow. I wasn't expecting the proof. The proof mixed with the whoa. What in the hell is even that? Weirdly enough, that sort of reminds me of a Jack Daniels product, like a really old Jack Daniels product. If you told me this was Jack Daniels 18 year, I might believe you. If you could turn bourbon into a man, it would be like a bronze statue of a man with just enormous pecs and gigantic trapezius muscles and so confident standing with his chin up and just a bulgy package that is hidden by his enormous muscular thighs and equally matching nice friggin' calves and stuff. It's a glorious bronze statue of a bourbon, and I like it. Man, that is good. If you do not like oak, if you do not like extra aged oak forward bourbon, you will not like this. If you love an oak forward pour, if you love extra aged, extra oaky, extra rich, extra vintagey, old tasting, old timey, rewind the clock, back that ass up bourbon, this is for you. This is so good. Would I have ever spent $500 on a bottle of it? No. I've never spent $500 on a bottle of whiskey ever, and I firmly believe that whiskey shouldn't cost that much. I just feel like it's too much. But it depends on who you are, whether or not $500 is a lot of money for a bottle, or if it's not a lot of money for a bottle. If you're out there spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on bottles all the time, then I would say that it is something that you should definitely buy because it's much better than most of the bottles you're spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on. This is one of the best things I've tried in a very long time, but personally for me, a $500 bottle isn't in the budget. It's not gonna happen. I'm not spending $500 plus tax on a bottle of whiskey. I can't do it. This is definitely not a disappointment. That's for sure. This is remarkably good. If this were $300, I would be looking in stores every week to see if they had one. I'd buy one. I'd buy one for $300. For me, this is probably top 5 bottles I own easily. It starts off pretty soft. The very front of the palate, pretty weak, pretty like nothing much. But instantly, it jumps up like 3 levels. Like it takes the fastest elevator in the world to go from floor 1 to floor 3, if 3 was like a pretty high floor. And then it just rides that all the way back. And then flares up again a little bit on the back of the palate before it gradually dissipates and the finish slowly subsides. I know it's hard to believe me when I say that I want to be completely transparent for a couple reasons. First of all, this was free, and you would think that I would want to give a good review to pat Calumet on the back and be like, good job sending me a bottle. And the second reason is because I'm so big and thick, it's impossible for me to be transparent. I understand both of those arguments, but I wasn't expecting it to be this good. I was expecting it to be really good. Really, really good. It kind of digs deep under your tongue, just like shoveling a hole deep. And then the oils from the whiskey are just penetrating it. It's like when you're on the shores of a beach. You're on the shores of Lake Michigan, and you've got your little plastic shovels, and you're digging, right on the shoreline. And then you hit the water table in like 6 inches. And then the bottom of that hole that you're digging just fills in with water. That's what's happening in your mouth. Your mouth is like a Great Lakes shoreline, and you're just plastic shoveling out material until it fills in with whiskey, and you can feel it, just feel it inside of like the bottom of your mouth and the bottom of your tongue, just penetrating deeper and penetrating deeper. And if you're watching this around children, or if you're just like, Matt, don't say it again, earmuffs, or just fast forward 10 seconds, but penetrating deeper. That third sip is just everywhere. It's down here, it's on the side. Shall I give it a second pour so I can give it an accurate score? America. Just a drip more. Man, your nose in there. Man, that smells good. I'm not trying to think specifically about other bottles that I gave this high of a score to, so I'm not sure where this is gonna fall in that area of this is better than that or that is better than this. This is strictly a score I'm giving it today because I'm tasting it today. Calumet 18 year, which you have to take with a grain of salt because it was a gift and you don't believe me. I'm just gonna sit here on my throne of lies. It's what you'll think, but 9.35. It is some of the best whiskey I've ever tasted. It is old, which I love. It is oaky, which I love. It has a vintage dusty note to it, which I love. It is 118 proof, which I love. It is Old Barton, which I love. All of these things check all the boxes for me. And if you don't believe me, go back. Look at my videos for Calumet 16, Calumet 15, Sam Houston 15 and 14. Those were some of my favorite bottles in the past 5 years. I absolutely loved them. They won my Whiskey of the Year 2 years. Sam Houston 15 won my Whiskey of the Year. Calumet 16 won my Whiskey of the Year. The only difference between Calumet 16 and Sam Houston 15 and this is that I was willing to spend the amount of money on those bottles. I was willing to spend the $150 on those Sam Houstons and Calumets, whereas this 18 year took such a friggin' jump in price that I would not have bought this for $500. If I didn't get a sample of it from Calumet, or if I didn't get a sample of it from a friend or a viewer, I wouldn't have tasted it this year. I wouldn't have tasted it. I would have had to find one at a bar eventually, or maybe at like a bottle share or something. I would have eventually tasted it, but it could have been a year or two, who knows? So I feel very lucky that Calumet Farms sent me the bottle, but this truly is a special pour, and it deserves a very special score. As far as the price goes, $500 is too much for me. $500 is too much for any whiskey for me. If this was a $300 bottle and it was sitting on a shelf somewhere, I would figure out a way to buy it. I would purchase one for $300, but $300 is like my limit. This would be a bottle I would buy at the very top of my bourbon budget. Caramels and burnt sugars and cooked down blackberries. I love Calumet 18, it is phenomenal. It's gonna be in the running for Whiskey of the Year for sure. I'm sorry that I got a bottle for free. I know that half of you will hate that. That's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey, like I always say. Keep your head in the clouds, but your mind on getting some vitamin D, you know? All winter long, if you live in a state that has winter, it's like clouds and really depressing crap. Now it's summertime. It's summertime and our bodies need vitamin D. I'm telling my wife every night that she needs more vitamin D, but she's either too tired or has a headache or like just not in the mood for vitamin D. And then I tell her she's just gonna get crankier and crabbier if she doesn't get it. So it's summertime, get out there. Soak up some sun, soak up some rays, so that maybe you'll be feeling better for a lot of the days. I'm out of here. Love you guys so much. Have a great day. Goodbye, good night. See you later. Boom.